What's going on, party people? We're back with some more Retro Cup of Pokemon action. This is the finals between Team Italy and Team France. If you want to see the other two semifinals matches leading up to this one, they're already on the YouTube channel. This is McFlurry, by the way. If you're new to the channel, I do a lot of commentated stuff on my YouTube. Check it out. Mostly Little Cup, but there's some other stuff like this that I also feature on here as well. And basically, what Retro Cup of Pokemon is, it's generations 1 to 8 overused. It's best of 8. So if we are tied at 4 apiece after 8 games, then there will be a tiebreaker. And just so there's like absolutely no spoilers in this video, if this does go to a tiebreaker, I will do that in a separate video. So if you see the videos getting close to ending, yeah, no, if there's a tiebreaker, I'll do it in a separate video here. It won't be in this one. So anyways, Italy versus France. Gonna try to keep the preview short just because I know how long these videos can get here. Oh yeah, and then Generation 1 segment of this is gonna be best of 3 as usual. So yeah, we're starting with Gen 4. We have Tizio Patante Ow versus No Love for Hose, which is Emerald. I forgot to write that down before recording, so hence the cut. Hopefully I remember to cut that out. But yeah, so let's get in here. Generation 4 OU, no team preview or anything like that. Slow mode as usual. And I'll try to keep things as quick as I can throughout this video here. So Zapdos lead from Tizio, and Bronzong lead from Emerald. Sub from Zapdos right away on a Stealth Rock, sure. Pretty safe play here. Zapdos can get do something for free on something here. In comes the Celebi, as we see a Discharge, okay. Now he gets a crit. That damage could be useful later on, depending on what kind of structure Emerald's bringing here. Another crit, okay. Still no para, though. Oh, Celebi can just recover off all that damage, so we're right back up to 100% as the Celebi's running leftovers. In comes the Gliscor here, which does not get Toxic Heal, or Poison Heal, rather, in this generation. So it's probably just running like leftovers or something like that. Maybe Viachi. Celebi switching in on another... Discharge may be predicting a different switch there. Maybe expecting Emerald to scout for the HP Ice. Though Celebi would be kind of weird switching for HP Ice. As now Emerald's pretty confident. Okay, no HP Ice from the Zapdos. Maybe scouting one more time here. Gets paralyzed. Yeah, just playing it patiently. Maybe really trying to scout the HP Ice. Here's the Bronzong on another Discharge. That thing gets paralyzed. Which, I mean, it's not like Bronzong's a Pokemon that depends on speed a whole lot anyways. Celebi comes in. The Zapdos just staying here, just spamming Discharge. Gets a para. Okay, so Celebi's looking to get out of here eventually and remove that. We see it this turn as the Gastrodon comes in. Okay, another ground type. There's the hidden power. Okay, we finally see it. Now, we know it's not grass. It's neutral to Gastrodon, so it is likely ice, you would think, right? Celebi comes in on another hidden power. How many Discharges are we at now? 16. Wow, 8 of them already. Crazy. And we see this Celebi just get chipped down. Probably going to recover this turn. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Zapdos really doesn't have anything to lose by just staying here, just clicking buttons, right? A crit would be devastating. Celebi gets right back up to full here. I mean, Emerald, does Emerald have a really reliable way to, deal with the Zapdos here? Here's another hidden power doing more chip to the Gastro. And Gastro gets access to a recover as well, so none of this is really too bad. Here's the Celebi for Tizio. We finally see a switch here on the switch to the Celebi for Emerald here. Now, what kind of Celebi are we looking at here from Tizio? Comes the Bronzong again. It just sets up Stealth Rocks, okay? So, to punish those switches a little bit. Tizio likely keeping Zapdos nice and healthy, knowing it's going to be a pretty effective Pokemon in this matchup here. Takes a Gyro Ball. Not doing too much. Despite being very slow now because of para. And just blows up. And that doesn't do enough to knock out the Celebi either. Which recovered earlier that turn as well, luckily, in order to live that. Here's the Tyranitar. Sets up a Sand. And then just knocks a Celebi out with a Crunch, maybe fearing a Pursuit there, stayed in. It's looking like a Choice Scarf Tyranitar as well. In all likelihood. Just clicks it again as Tizio goes into their own tar clicking crunch of their own. Okay, now that did a lot more damage. Could that be Choice Band or could it just be Adamant? Not sure. But Emerald just staying in clicking crunches, gets a drop. Tizio's beefed up Tyranitar here, doing a bit more damage here. It's going to get the KO on the next one. And there we go. We have a little Tyranitar action in this one here. Now this one's very low. Tizio's, that is, and has a drop. In comes the Gliscor. Starmie coming in. I'm thinking maybe a bold Starmie, maybe something more defensive. Takes knockoff. Loses its leftovers. Indicating, yeah, probably a defensive me here. Maybe looking at Rapid Spin. We'll see what Emerald's last is. It wasn't Gastrodon, so it's probably not a Ghost type. You probably go into that here. Just clicks the Rapid Spin. Swampert coming out. Yeah, if there was a Rotom, we probably would have seen it by now. Sets up a Curse. Okay, what's this Swampert threatening here? It could just have Roar. Well, sets up a Curse of its own. Okay, we got a little Curse War between these Water Ground type Pokemon. Two Pokemon that are very similar. With Groudon, however, or Gastrodon rather, getting the Recover as well. So I think it would. I don't know. We'll have to see how this all pans out. Emerald bringing in the Celebi as a Swampert just goes for another Curse, but is threatening a Grass move here, likely Giga Drain. It's running. Tizio just going into the Starmie here on a T-Wave. Okay, so Emerald expecting that Swampert to get scared out here. It can just naturally cure that off. Last Pokemon revealed for Tizio is a Jirachi. Comes in on a Seed Bomb. Okay, so we're looking at a physical Celebi here. I don't know what the last move could be. Magnezone coming in here, trapping the Jirachi too. Except it clicks U-turn, so it is not trapped. And the Swampert comes out here. Like the Hidden Power Fire on this Magnezone. Switches into the Celebi. As Zapdos comes out for Tizio. Okay, we know the Zapdos can deal with the Celebi quite well. Likely gonna set up a sub here if it doesn't get paralyzed. Sets up the sub. What's the Celebi clicking? Recover. Still haven't seen the last move here from the Celebi. And now we're back to where we started, essentially. The difference being Emerald has rocks on their side of the field. Then we see Hidden Power Ice from the Zapdos. So at least we're pretty confident that's going to be Hidden Power Ice. I think it's pretty much confirmed it's Ice, though. Switching into Swampert here. Don't want this Gastrodon to get carried away with curses. Sets up a curse of its own, knowing it likely beat this thing 1v1. We see an Earthquake from the Gastrodon. Just get an idea of how much damage that's going to do at this point. Doesn't want to stay in, though. Goes right back into the Celebi here to threaten a Seed Bomb. Comes in on a Waterfall, which only does 13% on +1 there. But as we expect, this Celebi's probably packing some defense investment too. Jirachi coming in for Tizio on a Seed Bomb. Still haven't seen the last move from that Celebi yet. Maybe it's U-turn, maybe it's knockoff. Gliscor coming in here. Jirachi just clicks U-turn. Did we see leftovers on this Jirachi? No, we did not. Could be Choice Scarf. Starmie coming out here, threatening a water move, so Celebi's coming in. It could be packing the Ice Beam for all we know. We see Recover. I'd say that's probably likely not Ice Beam if this is defensive. Could be. We don't see it here. That goes in the Zapdos. No, and Zapdos can deal with the Celebi quite well. I was thinking, well, maybe we'd see a T-Wave, but no. Emerald just recovering off that damage here. Timer's getting low too, down to 15 seconds there. For Tizio, that is. Gets down to 15 seconds again here. Roosts up this turn. There's the T-Wave on the Zapdos. I think that's pretty huge, actually. Because it's pretty evident this thing is a problem for Emerald. That's one way you can help kind of deal with it. That in combination with the Gastrodon. It comes in on a crit Hidden Power Ice. Pokemon getting some leftovers recover here. Into the Swampert. Gastrodon just goes for the Recover. Celebi coming back out. Swampert goes for the Waterfall. Just get some chip. That was Stealth Rocks. Where's this gonna go here? You can get rid of that Celebi. Swampert's kind of in the clear here. This is a potential win condition here for Tizio. Zapdos coming in on Seed Bomb. Okay. Tizio just staying in here. Gets a Discharge off and a Paralysis on the Celebi. There's the Tyranitar. As the Celebi switches out into Magnezone here. Again, there's probably a Banded Tar, so speed advantage probably going to the Magnezone here. Goes into the Swampert. Yet we see a Flash Cannon, no drop from the Magnezone. But Magnezone's surely going to want to get out here. In comes the Celebi. Swampert, what's this thing doing? Oh, it's going to switch out into... Tizio's going to switch out into Jirachi here. Again, likely Choice Scarf, lightly threatening a U-turn here. Emerald going to go into the Gliscor on the U-turn. Yep, very safe click. Starmie coming out. What's the Celebi at right now? 53. Okay, so I mean, goes in the Gastrodon instead. Okay. Starmie clicks Psychic and gets a drop. That's nice. So Emerald probably not looking to stay in here with the Gastrodon at least too long. Fires off another Psychic. Just recovers up there, knowing that was a possibility. Another Psychic, another drop. Gets off an Earthquake. That's 33% here. Remember that Starmie had its leftovers knocked off too, so another Earthquake would be a problem here. But I think Tizio's okay just getting the chip on the Gastrodon here. Celebi coming out on the next Psychic. Gonna want to recover. Oh, another drop. Okay, that could be big. Putting a little pressure on the Celebi. I don't think it's in range of another one. No, not yet. Jirachi coming out here. As the Celebi kind of has to recover here. Tizio knows this. Can bring this in for free. No more Stealth Rocks either. And very safe U-turner. Just clicks it. Knocks out the Celebi with a crit. Okay. Tizio thinking maybe that might have. I mean, it's evident that Celebi did have some bulk. So, I know that is ×4 though. Gastrodon came out. And we see both water ground types cursing up again here. Do we just see them both get up to +6, perhaps? That's kind of the way it's looking here. And then doing some crit fishing, perhaps. And both players with having their Celebis gone, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at here, right? So I do think both players are just going to get up to +6. That's surely what it's looking like here. And then just, I don't know, see who gets a crit, really. See, +5 here for Tizio. +5 here for Emerald. Swampert is faster. We see the last curse boost here for the Swampert, +6. Likewise with Emerald. Okay, let's see how this goes down here. First one to get a crit, basically. Okay, we see the Waterfall from Swampert here. Who gets the flinch? Okay, that's a start. So not Storm Train, I think Sticky Hold. Recovers off. Okay. There's an Earthquake from the Gastrodon. Okay. Waterfall. No flinch. We see an Earthquake from the Gastrodon yet again here. Both Pokemon close to half here. Probably see a recover from the Gastrodon here. Surely. Nope, we see an Earthquake. No crit. Down to 35, though. Not in Torrent range either. The Swampert, that is. Which would have been nice. Ooh, a flinch here would be huge. We don't see it. Gastrodon gets the recover off. That Swampert's going to be in range next Earthquake, barring a crit. It's in torrent range. Okay, it's in torrent now. It's not going to do enough here though to knock out that Gastrodon. As this Swampert actually is packing the rest as its main form of recovery here. So it just has to avoid getting crit here. Was it Sleep Talk last? It could be. Maybe there's no Earthquake. Yeah, we see the Sleep Talk. And it pulls the Waterfall as well. What's our PP situation here? 15 left. See another Sleep Talk here most likely. Yes. And they get the Waterfall. Ooh, Gastrodon, no flinch either. Just hanging on, gets the Recover off. Swampert wakes up. Goes for the Waterfall. Doesn't get the crit yet again here. Gets the flinch though. So a flinch here would be huge. You see the next Waterfall here. And it gets a Recover off. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I should have sped up this part here. Let's keep it going though. Okay, so Waterfall gets the flinch that time. Down to 12. Waterfall. Doesn't get the next flinch. No crit on the Earthquake from the Gastrodon. Boom! Crit from the Waterfall. Okay, Gastrodon is down. This is looking like game here. Oh, and Emerald knows that and just forfeits. Yep, that was pretty much game at that point. I don't think a crit Earthquake was going to knock out the Swampert. Yeah, no, this... I mean, even then, you still got, you know, another 4 Pokemon anyways at that. So, yeah, this is looking like it's over. Okay, so Team Italy up 1-0 at this point here. Thanks to a victory by Tizio in Generation 4 OU. Let's get into the next one here. All right, next up we have ORAS OU between Laroxel and Hissu, or Hiss on the opposing side there. So, yeah, Laroxel for Italy, Hiss for France here, and Italy's up 1-0 at this point here. ORAS, this is my jam. Really quick team preview here. Yeah, Laroxel bringing a pretty offensive team here. You have a Victini. I love this Pokemon. This is one of my favorite Pokemon. I think it can be very good in ORAS OU against the right teams. You also have a Scizor. I'm expecting... well, actually, I'm expecting Mega, just from looking at the team here. Yep. It's not Sand, so probably not going to be a Mega Chomp here. Speaking of, though, you got a Garchomp. Probably a Tank Chomp. I guess it could be Choice Scarf. Real cool offensive team, though, from Laroxel, honestly. You have the Thundurus, which if it's Prankster, looking to get some crucial paras off on perhaps the Charizard and the Keldeo. Though if it's Defiant, that'd be really neat too. There's no Intimidators on his side of the field there. You have a Kyurem Black. Honestly, I mean, Laroxel's brought like all my favorite Pokemon, really. And a Keldeo, which, looking at the rest of the team, I could see this thing being Subcom Mine. We'll have to wait and see. Hissu bringing a much more balanced team here. You have a Charizard. Is that X or it's Y? I'm leaning towards Charizard Y. Otherwise, it'd just be doing kind of the same thing as that Garchomp. But we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. You have a Garchomp, of course. A Ferrothorn, which is looking to set up hazards. But, I mean, you also have a Defogger in that Zapdos as well. So you're definitely looking at the order of operations here. You have a Chansey. Okay, looking to take some special hits. However, Keldeo should be able to deal with that quite well, especially if it's Calm Mind. And then Hissu bringing a Keldeo of their own to this one as well. Yeah, let's get into it. So much for a quick team preview there. There we go. Thundurus lead from Laroxel. And a Garchomp lead from Hissu, pretty much confirming Tank Chomp. Gets out of there, doesn't want to take an HP Ice. Chansey comes in. We see the hidden power, likely Ice. Thundurus usually runs that. Volt Switch is out of there. Brings in the Scizor. Is this Chansey just clicks Seismic Toss to get some chip on something? Charizard coming out here for Hissu. We see the Mega on the Scizor as expected and just U-turns on out of there. Thundurus coming out here for Laroxel. Chansey for Hissu. Volt Switch is on out of there. Good play. Garchomp coming out here for Laroxel. Zapdos switching in for Hissu. It reveals its pressure and not static. Sets up an SD. Okay. And we see an Outrage click. Gets it down to 1 HP. Zapdos just hanging on. Gets a Hidden Power Ice off. But it will drop to the second one. We might just see Ferrothorn come in here. Yes, we do. And this is a dead Chomp. If it is Rocky Helmet, takes it pretty well. We see Iron Barbs. We do not see the Rocky Helmet, but we see that this Chomp is indeed Lum. Gets up to Stealth Rocks too as well. So we have an SD Stealth Rock Chomp. You see the Ferrothorn get up their own. That was Lum. Yeah, just double checking. Zapdos coming out here. Just sacks to rocks here. This Chomp clicked Earthquake. So we see the full set from the Garchomp here. Keldeo coming out here. Likely just looking just to knock out this Chomp with the Scald, which is what we see. Okay. Oh, did we see leftovers on that Keldeo? I think we did. Sorry, I was like, okay, is this Keldeo choice locked? And I looked away for a second, of course. In comes the Keldeo. We see it knock out this Garchomp with the Scald. And then, yeah, it gets back to 100%, I'm pretty sure. So this is indeed leftovers Keldeo. So it could be sub. Could be sub Calm Mind. Thunder's coming out here for the Roxel. You see the Ferrothorn coming out. Likely on a Volt Switch, yep. But now this Thunder's going to be taking Stealth Rock damage every time it comes in, too. So here's the Keldeo from the Roxel, which does not have leftovers. Goes for Secret Sword. This could be Specs. This could be Scarf. Here's the Keldeo from Hissu. Ooh, and we see it outspeed. So this is probably Specs Keldeo from the Roxel. Ooh, and from that damage, yeah, definitely Specs. And Hissu winning another speed tie there, knocks that thing out. Does a 50-50 either way here. At least this Keldeo's chipped, though. Here's the Thundurus. You can just Volt Switch for free here. Of course, if Garchomp was brought out here, you could just knock that thing out with a Hidden Power Ice. Volt Switch lands on the Chansey. Victini's brought out for the Roxel, basically confirming a physical Victini here. The Garchomp comes out on the V-Create, takes it quite well. We see some drops here. We also see that's a Rocky Helmet Garchomp as well. And gets the KO with Rock Tomb. I guess it was in range, just in case they wanted to switch into Thundurus, perhaps. Here's the Thundurus coming in. Only gets one more switch in after this one. Knocks this Garchomp out with Hidden Power Ice. Both players' timers get pretty low here. Seems to be a common occurrence in a lot of these matches I cover. Here's the Chansey. We're going to see a mixed Thundurus. We see a Focus Blast miss. That sucks. This Chansey just gets a soft-boiled off. Yeah, now it's going to be able to take another... It's going to be able to take a Focus Blast now quite comfortably. And Thundurus just going to Volt Switch out. Switch in one more time here, at least at the range it's at. Scizor coming out on his Seismic Toss. Okay. Keldeo for Hissu on a Roost. I don't think it's in range of BP yet. Takes a Scald, no burn. And we see a big U-turn land on the Keldeo. Here comes the Kyurem, making its debut to this battle. Takes Stealth Rock damage, of course. Knocks the Keldeo with the Dragon Claw. That is a Scarf Kyurem Black. Looking to punch a hole in the Hissu's team. Now that Chansey should be able to take one. So the Rocks will go into the Scizor on a soft-boiled turn. Do we see an SD here, perhaps? Charizard coming out. Takes all that Stealth Rock damage as the Scizor clicks Roost. In comes the Thundurus. What are we going to see here from Hissu? Charizard X. Roosts up. Okay. But maybe we see a DD. Okay. Let's see a T-Wave here, perhaps. Chansey coming out on a T-Wave. Yep. Chansey doesn't mind taking that. Slower than anything anyways. Takes a Focus Blast really well, actually. And gets the Seismic Toss KO. Okay. Cool. Here's the Kyurem Black for the Roxel. Probably looking to click Outrage this time. Chansey not quite in KO. Gets the soft boiled off. Does not get parried. And it's going to be able to take another one too. 50. Oh man. Gets 2-turn confusion. Full para. Okay, so both players have to make a decision here. Luroxel choosing to switch out, going to the Scizor. It's a chance to get fully paralyzed. That is basically the game here. As Chansey's going to drop to U-turn. Luroxel's going to Kyurem Black and then outspeed the Charizard as it's a Choice Scarf Kyurem. Yeah. And there we have it. You see the Outrage. That's just going to knock that thing out. So Luroxel getting Italy up 2-0 in the Retro Cup of Pokemon Finals here. There you go. Let's get into the next game here. Alright, we've entered the Gen 1 portion of this Retro Cup of Pokemon Finals here. So this is best of 3. We'll get into the first game here. This best of 3 is going to be played between Amaranth from Italy and Kaz from France. Let's get into it here. No team preview. Gen 1. Jinx lead from Amaranth. Alakazam lead from Kaz. So just so there's clarification here, Gen 1's usually best of 3 just because it's an overall hacksy, glitchy generation here. So rather doing best of 1 just with freeze craziness and crits and anything else you want to say about Gen 1, they typically do best of 3 to determine the winner, at least when it comes to Smogon Tours. Just want to clarify that. Okay, so we see a T-Wave from the Alakazam. It's going to be a nice way to deal with that Jinx early on as it gets this lovely kiss off on the Alakazam. Kaz going into Chansey on a Mist Blizzard. Of course, you want to be keeping an eye on those ice moves throughout this best of 3 here. Seismic Toss. And then Chansey, still no freeze. Remember that in Gen 1, freeze is essentially a death sentence. You can only get defrosted if you get hit by a fire move. Chansey just sitting there spamming the Seismic Toss. This Jinx rested up here, so its HP's back to full. Or was. A couple turns behind here. We see it wake up. Takes another Seismic Toss as this Jinx clicks rest yet again. Just looking to stall out this Chansey, but we're probably going to see a switch here from Kaz. Nope. Stays in. Forcing this Jinx into basically a rest loop here. You see it wake up. And we see it again here. Yep. Is Chansey faster? No, it's not. No, I'm crazy. I think it's just the rest mechanics. Yeah, you gotta spend a turn waking up. It's the end of the turn, right? Okay, so in comes the Tauros from Kaz, expecting a rest. Amaranth perhaps expecting a switch. Goes into Chansey, which is an okay way to deal with it, I guess. Gets a T-Wave off, lands on Kaz's Chansey. Probably the next best thing you want, taking a T-Wave there. Jinx comes back out on a full para turn. Gets a Psychic off and a drop. See this chance to get another Psychic. Well, surely this Jinx is going to rest here. No obstacle for the Blizzard, maybe expecting a switch. Chansey going for the Soft Boiled here. Here's the rest from the Jinx. Let's see a Seismic Toss. Tauros coming over here for Kaz. Cloyster for Amaranth. Okay, very good defensive Mon in this generation. Gets paralyzed on the first body slam from this Tauros, however. Kaz going to their own Cloyster. Takes the Blizzard. No freeze. They don't know if this thing gets frozen or not. It clicks Clamp. Now because of Clamp and Wrap mechanics, that thing is trapped. We see Amaranth make a switch here in Chansey though. Kaz going back into their own Chansey. We see a bunch of switching here. Snorlax for Amaranth getting a big body slam off on this Chansey. That's 2 at KO, especially since this thing got full parried and unable to soft boiled. Cloyster coming out for Kaz on a Hyper Beam. Oh no, that thing is going to be stuck. We see a Blizzard from the Cloyster, no freeze. That was a free click though. Jinx coming out for Amaranth. And we see another Clamp here. Jinx wakes up. We see another Clamp here, of course. Some Cloyster. Kaz goes into their own Chansey. Both full on paralyzed here. Alakazam for Kaz. Ooh, misses the Clamp, unfortunately. Cloyster coming out for Kaz. Snorlax comes out. Tons of switching around here. We see another Clamp. Snorlax is stuck there. Switches into Chansey. Tons of clamp action here from these Cloisters. Chansey coming out for Kaz on a Seismic Toss. I'm going to do a ton to Chansey with its high HP stat. Cloister comes out here on a Soft Boil turn. Root back into their own Cloister. On an Explosion, okay, so both Cloisters down. Next, more clamp action in this one. Tauros for Kaz. Tauros for Amaranth. Okay, how's this going to go down? Body Slam. Amaranth winning a speed tie there. Neither player getting the pair on their body slams, though. We see another one here from Kaz. Gets a crit. Oh, and we also... Okay, so big speed tie here. Kaz wins. Knocks that thing out with a body slam. See a Snorlax come out here for Amaranth. Ooh, and it... Oh, I was about to say, is it in range of Hyper Beam? Guess we'll never know this. That was a crit. Kaz thinking it was. Articuno last here for Amaranth. Takes a body slam and gets paralyzed. We've seen Ice Beam KO on the Tauros. Putting a lot of work. Just a ride on for Kaz. Okay. Just gonna knock this thing out clean with the Rock Slides ×4. And Amaranth just forfeits here, knowing it's not gonna be able to punch through that thing. Got Jinx that's really low, it's just gonna get bopped by something, right? From that ride on. So yeah, Kaz up 1-0 in this best of 3 here. Let's get into the second game of this best of 3. Alright, here we go. Game 2 of the Gen 1 best of 3 between Kaz from France and Amaranth from Italy. Let's get into it. Kaz wins this. It's another point for France here. I guess a first point for France. Jinx lead from both players. We see Amaranth win the speed tie. Get a lovely kiss off. That Jinx wakes up immediately. Wins another one. Stays asleep this time. Tauros coming out here for Amaranth. Starmie switching in here for Kaz. Okay. And then Exeggutor for Kaz. As the Chansey comes in for Amaranth. Okay. Jinx coming back out. Stealthily dodges the Sleep Powder. Jinx for Kaz, which is a sleep. Takes the Blizzard. Resist a hit, of course. Chansey coming out for Amaranth as this... Oh, Kaz just goes into Starmie again. Okay. Goes back into Jinx. A T-Wave. Wakes up. Ice Beam. Not doing too much. Jinx coming out for Amaranth as a quick lovely kiss. Okay. So Amaranth Jinx is now asleep. Starmie coming out here on a body slam from the Jinx. Okay, no para. Takes a Psychic quite well. Gets the drop too. See another body slam. And there's the para. That's a crucial para on that Starmie. As a naturally very fast Pokemon. Kaz send out their own Starmie on a full para turn. Amaranth going to Chansey, knowing the Starmie's probably going to win this interaction. Gets another para off on the Chansey now. Jinx coming out for Kaz. An Ice Beam. Starmie back out for Amaranth here on the Blizzard. Luckily the Starmie can't get frozen as it's paralyzed already. Kaz going to their own on a full para turn yet again. And the Snorlax coming out for Kaz here. Chansey comes in. Advantage for Kaz here. Goes there Jinx, maybe expecting a switch. Yep, into Gengar. Okay. Oh, Amaranth going to the Starmie. Blizzard from the Jinx here. This might be running Rest last. Don't know if Psychic could be a little bit crazy. Do we see Psychic here, perhaps? Probably see Body Slam here, yeah. Tauros coming up for Kaz. A Soft Boil turn. Another Body Slam here. Ooh, and we see the Ice Beam land on the Tauros. No freeze. Snorlax coming out here for Amaranth. Only Body Slam crit. No para. Snorlax coming out for Kaz. On Explosion, which isn't going to do enough to knock out that Snorlax for Kaz. So might be looking to rest soon. Here's a Tauros which can outspeed it. Knock it out with a Body Slam. Zapdos coming out here for Kaz. Starmie just as a sack, perhaps. Goes for the T-Wave, actually. And then the Drill Peck's good to knock out that Starmie. Ooh, Zapdos looking like a pretty good Pokemon here. Gengar coming out for Amaranth. It's running like an Ice Punch or something. Jinx coming out. We see a T-Bolt. Does it get Ice Punch? Might not in this gen. Exeggutor coming out for Kaz. Another T-Bolt. No Para. Jinx for Kaz, just as a sack. Sleep sack in this case. Back into Exeggutor. Nightshade. Chansey coming in here for Amaranth. Tauros comes in. Jinx for Amaranth. This thing's still asleep. It's going to live a Hyper Beam. Okay, so this Tauros has to recharge. It's a little bit stuck here. Amaranth using this as an opportunity to go into their own Tauros. Loses a Speed Tie. Body Slam crit. No Para, though. Gets the Body Slam off. No crit or Para. Starmie coming out here for Kaz. Ooh, missed Hyper Beam. Might have been for the best, though, if that thing was going to live. And gets the Surf crit KO. Okay. So, Tauros drops. Here's the Chansey. Tauros for Kaz. Okay. Full Para. Jinx potentially is a sack here on the Earthquake. Here's the Gengar. We've seen this impact the Earthquake. Lives a T-Bolt. No Para. We can see the Earthquake here. Yes. Gengar lives, but it's low now. Gets the T-Bolt KO on the Tauros. But like Starmie could just come in here. Eh? Oh, Zapdos instead. Okay. Takes the Explosion. But it's kind of an uphill battle here. It's Chansey versus the world. This thing's paralyzed still, too. Drill Peck. It's a 2-hit KO. Yep. It's likely going to drop to the second one here. Yes, it does. So, didn't even think that was a roll. So, there you go. Kaz winning the Gen 1 portion of this Retro Cup of Pokemon Finals. So, France finally on the board with 1 point here. 2-1, Italy. Let's get into the next one. Alright, next up you have Sword and Shield OU between Lolbra from Italy and Yorunox from France here. So yeah, let's get into it here. Both players bring in pretty fat teams. Doesn't look like other players bringing like just straight offense. Seems like a good mix of balance here from both players here. We'll start with Lolbra's team bringing a Tapu Lele. Both players bringing a Tapu Lele. This Pokemon is a huge threat, just overall. Luckily, both players have ways to deal with it, but this is always a tough Pokemon to deal with because it just hits like a truck. It's Psychic Terrain, of course. You have the Urshifu. Am I saying that right? Yes, I am. I'm not a Gen 8 gamer, but you have the Urshifu Fighting Dark type. I know there's one where it's like Fighting Water, right? It has another form. So, okay. You have a Zapdos, which could be static. So, we'll see if that ends up playing a part here. Clef, which is looking like it could be the stealth. I guess there's a few options for the Stealth Rocker for Lolbra here. You also have a Landorus and a Heatran, but I'm kind of expecting the Landorus to maybe be Choice Scarf. We'll have to wait and see. Yorunox bringing both Tapus. You have the Tapu Fini as well, which is likely the Defogger on this, which might open up some offensive potential for their own Landorus. You got a dual Steel Core there with the Magnezone and the Melmetal. Both can help deal with that Tapu Lele, of course, but it's threatened by the Heatran. And then a Tornadus T. Let's get into it here. Both players using lots of timer early on here. Lele lead from Yorunox. Urshifu lead from Lolbra. Okay. Goes right into the Heatran. Very good way to deal with this Pokemon. Barring the HP ground, of course. You see the Fini switch in here. And then right back into the Landorus here on a Protect turn. Okay. You can see some rocks here. You see the Clefable come out. And we see a knockoff land on this thing. It's going to lose its Rocky Helmet after dealing a little bit of damage to the Landorus T. Sets up Stealth Rocks, okay. And goes for a knockoff of their own. Gets rid of that thing's leftovers. Earthquake landing on the Clef. As they just get up their own Stealth Rocks, okay. So both players, the rocks up here. Yorinox is going to U-turn on out of there. Bring in the Melmetal. See soft boiled? Yes, we do. But this Clef is threatened out of here. See leftovers on it, this Melmetal as well. Zapdos coming in here. It's looking like static as it didn't reveal pressure when it switched in. Gets toxic. Great play by Yorinox there. Knowing full well that Clef is in all likelihood a Magic Guard, so there was a risk there. Clicks Protect. Gets a bit of poison damage. And then goes into the Tornadus T on a Heat Wave. That doesn't look like AV. So, no item. Interesting. U-turns on out of there. There's no item revealed here. Landorus T coming out here for Yorinox. Intimidate off. Not gonna really matter on his Zapdos, of course. Just roosts up, but it's gonna be taking lots of poison damage here. Fires off a Hurricane and confuses the Landorus. And still able to U-turn on out of there. Okay. Torn coming in for Yorinox. Lots of poison damage here. Ooh, just U-turns. Okay. Zapdos can be able to do something here. Landorus comes out on a Roost turn. Oh yeah, this thing can't really do too much outside of Earthquakes, right? So okay, so Clefable coming in on an Earthquake. Okay, maybe expecting the Zapdos to outspeed and go for Roost there. Stays in, clicks it. So yeah, Landorus is just kind of a sack at this point. But Yorinox wants this Clef low, which is fair. Keep spamming Earthquake, though. You'll eventually get the chip that you want. There's a crit. Kind of making this whole process a little bit easier. Keeps clicking it here. We don't see this Clef's probably going to go for an attack this turn. You think. And we see the Moonblast. Yep. That chip could be crucial, though. In comes the Tapu Lele. Gets Psychic Train up. And, ooh, big Psychic. Just gonna drop that Clef. Okay. Here's the Heatran. Near full HP. The Tapu is looking to be some kind of choice. Fires off Magnastorm, lands on the Torn. What type of Torn are we looking at here? Protect. Goes for the U-turn. I think this Torn might be choice. I guess it could be Boots, actually. Forgot Boots is a thing. U-turn's out of there. Comes the Feeny. On the next Magma Storm here. Could we see a Defog, perhaps? I think Heatran's probably just going to click Protect here. Nope, goes in Tapu Lele instead. As this Tapu Fini goes for the Calm Mind. Okay. Hopefully it's bringing Psy Shock here. See the Melmetal come out. So Yorinox not getting greedy there. We see the Psychic from the Tapu Lele. I think it might be Specs. Here's the Zapdos, which has heavy-duty boots, by the way. Oh, and this thing gets staticked as the Zapdos drops, but it did its job in paralyzing that Melmetal. Landorus T coming out here. Gets the Intimidate off. Torn coming in. Earthquake, yep. Gets the Defog. And will not live a Stone Edge from that Landorus. I wonder if this thing's like Rock Polish. Tapu Lele. The Heatran comes in. And a Psychic. Doing so much damage. Unresisted hit there, of course. Magnezone trapping this Heatran. But it's just going to drop to a Magma Storm straight up. So there you have it. Tapu Fini coming out here for Yorinox. Right back into Lele. Maybe trying to scare this thing out. No, stays in. Clicks Magma Storm. Okay. Yeah, the Yorinox timer getting real low there, too. Clicks Protect. See what this thing wants to potentially lock into. We see a Focus Blast. So we might see Lowbro's own Tapu Lele come out here. Nope, just stays in, lets the Heatran take a hit, and then gets the Earth Power KO. Alright. Heatran's very low though. Here's the Tapu Fini as well. Nothing that can resist a Surf. Tapu Lele is going to come in here. Should take it quite well. Oh, we see Calm Mind instead. Okay. Ooh, and this thing has T-Bolt and gets a crit. Knock this thing out. Okay. And the Metal surely not standing much of a chance here. Yeah, because you're not going to get through that Landorus or really any of the rest of the Pokemon there. We see the Landorus come out, of course. It's just going to get the Earthquake KO. Get the point for Lulbro here. Yep. There you have it. Italy up 3-1 at this point. I should have mentioned I'm covering all these matches in terms of the order in which they happened as well. So the order in which they were posted on a Smogon. I should have mentioned that right at the start there. But I forgot. There you have it. Italy is up 3-1 here. Let's get into the next game. Alright, next up we have a Gen 2 OU match between Coco, also known as Tizio Palato Au from our perspective, and Zokoru from France. Awesome custom avatar. Let's get into it here. Snorlax lead from Coco. Zapdos lead from Zokoru. Getting T-Wave off immediately on the Snorlax. They just go for the double edge. Doesn't even do half to the Zapdos. Very fat Pokemon. Cloyster coming out here. Ooh, as we see, Coco going with Exeggutor. Okay. Now Cloyster just sets up a spike. Ooh, that Giga Drain's gonna almost knock that Cloyster out clean. Not quite though. Cloyster probably gonna blow up here. No, goes into Tyranitar. As the Gengar comes out for Coco here. Misses the Dynamic Punch. That's kind of what you sign up for when you use that move. Gengar lives a crunch. You can see that again. We do, and it misses again. As it's gonna drop to a crunch. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know the risk you run when you use that move. I'm sorry. It sucks, but yeah. Here's the Machamp, though, which can hopefully hit this Tyranitar a bit more accurately. We see the Zapdos coming in for Sokoru on a Rock Slide, perhaps predicting the switch there. But Machamp probably scared out here. Still gonna take a T-Wave as, yeah, it just gets the KO with the Zapdos. Okay, so Coco clearly wants that Zapdos gone. Cloyster coming up for Sokoru here. Could see the boom. There's the Cloyster for Coco. As we do see the explosion. Coco's Cloyster just hangs on there, though. Here's the Tar. I'm so not used to seeing Tar not set up sand as it switches in. Gets the spike up. Probably gonna drop to something here. Yep, Pursuit. The Champ coming out here for Coco. Vaporeon for Zokoru. Okay. Takes the Earthquake very well. Now we're going to see this go down maybe a Growth. No, we see a Surf. It's Machamp. Gets a Cross Chop off. Okay. Still does some decent damage. Exeggutor coming in here. On a rest turn. Okay. Kind of what you're expecting here from a fat Pokemon like Vaporeon. Here's the Snorlax. The Machamp switches back in. Okay. Vaporeon coming right back out. Yet again. Ooh, full para on the Machamp. Vaporeon still asleep. Is packing the Sleep Talk, and we see it pull rest here. Gets a tiny bit of HP back. Takes another Cross Chop here. Here's the Exeggutor move. So we haven't seen the fourth move yet. Could be Ice Beam. Gets the Surf off here. Probably looking to switch though. Oh, Coco switches into Machamp. Maybe trying to bait in something. Let's see the Sleep Talk here. Gets the Surf. It's gonna wake up here next turn, I believe. Yeah, it wakes up. Gets the Surf off on the Eggy. What's that last move? The Ice Beam here would be huge. Oh, we see a switch into Snorlax instead. Oh, as the Eggy just blows up. Yep. Snorlax coming out here for Coco. We see a Machamp revealed last for Zakaru here. Pretty much the Pokemon you want in this situation. We don't know what's last for Coco yet, though. Cross Chop. Ooh, and the Snorlax misses a Thunder. Mostly just looking for the Para in that case. Or potential switch into Vaporeon, I guess. Steelix last for Tizio. That's not good. Or for Coco, rather. That's not good. He's going to take a Cross Chop. That thing's in range of Surf now, though. As the Steelix just blows up, takes him a Champ with... Or, yeah, it takes him a Champ with it. But I don't think Coco can break through Zakaru's Vaporeon at that range. I mean, I think things in range of Surf, you gotta think, right? You saw the damage earlier. Yeah, this is game. So Zakaru getting a point for France here. It's now 3-2 for Italy in this best of 8. Let's get into the next game here. All right, next up we have Sun and Moon OU. That's right. We have Ale Duncan or AJ Duncan from Italy against Chafu from France. Really sweet custom avatar, both players actually. Yeah, let's start with Ale Duncan's team here. You see another Victini. I'm appreciating the Victini love in this video, I must say. We've seen it twice already. We still have a black and white OU match coming up here. Maybe we'll see this thing again. But yeah, you have that. You have a Diancie, of course, which is of course gonna be a Mega Diancie. I mean, it's the only thing that could be Mega on this team. Nor would you use regular Diancie. Anyways, now luckily Chafu's bringing a pretty offensive team where I think having a Mega Diancie kind of thrives. I mean, talk about Water Dark spam. I'll get to that. Yeah, you also have a Ferrothorn, a Tapu Fini, a Dragonite, which I'm feeling like is the Z move holder for this one. We'll have to wait and see. The Z Stone holder. And then, of course, you have a Landorus, which could be the Stealth Rocker, could just be Scarf. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, let's talk about Chafu's team. We have this Water Dark Pokemon spam going on. Assuming that's... I was going to say assuming that's a Mega Gyarados, but that actually might just be Mega Sharpedo looking at the team. You got the Greninja, the Crawdon, another Pokemon I'm quite a fan of course. And then to complement those four, you have a Landorus and a Magearna as well. Okay, I feel like there's some holes in Chafu's team here that maybe can be exploited. But just based on team preview, you know what? This looks like it should actually be a pretty fair draw. We'll see. I'm no analysis, but man, Chafu bringing a pretty wild team here. We see the Sharpedo lead against the Victini lead. Could just see a Protect here. Tapu Fini comes out here for Ale Duncan on a Protect. Yeah, as expected, this thing's gonna get a speed boost. Might just click Poison Fang here. Nope, goes into Magearna, fearing a Moonblast. Let's see a Whirlpool from the Tapu Fini. Okay. Right. Nature's Madness is going to miss, unfortunately, as this Magearna is just going to Volt Switch on out. Here's the Landorus for Chafu. What's this thing going to do? Maybe just go for Rocks or something here. We see the Landorus for Ale Duncan. Yep, there's the Rocks. And we see the Defog immediately, which means it's probably not Defog on that Fini here, which, I mean... Seems like that Fini's just running some weird... I know this is a set, it's just I'm so rusty with my Gen 7 that I can't quite remember what else is on that set here. We see it come back out. Probably some kind of recovery, right? With like Rest, perhaps. So Stealth Rocks come right back up. Sharpedo coming out here for Chafu as this... He does have the Defog, because we got like dual Defog going on here. Which makes sense, because, I mean, you do have the Dragonite. That works. Okay, we see the Z from the Sharpedo. Tectonic Rage, not doing as much as you'd like. unlikely to have the poison move too. See the Ferrothorn come out. On a Destiny Bond. Okay. This Ferrothorn gonna probably click a non-attacking move here. We see the Landorus come out rather on a Stealth Rock. Yep. Chafu setting up their own rocks again here. On the Leech Seed turn. Destiny Bond Torpedo, okay. Magearna coming back out. Could be threatening HP Fire. Instead, we see Landorus come out instead, okay. Chafu going with their own Landorus. Linguini Victini. U-turns on out of there. Ferrothorn coming out here for Ale Duncan. On an Earthquake. Does respectable damage. We just see that thing get Leech Seeded here. Gearna coming back out. I think this thing might be packing. I think it gets Focus Blast, so that's one way you can threaten this thing. Gets Leech Seeded on a switch. Good play by Ale Duncan there. Landorus T coming back out. On a Hidden Power Fire, most likely. I believe this thing gets Ice Beam too, though. We see the U-turn. Victini coming out here. This Magearna just Volt switches out. Oh, okay. I'm expecting that Landorus to U-turn on out. Here's that Sharpedo again. We see a Ferrothorn switch for Ale Duncan on a potential Protect here. No, clicks Crunch instead. Get some Chip. And a Speed Boost. It's clicking Crunch, knowing that Destiny Bond is probably coming. Ale Duncan just going for the Leech Seed here. Ooh, just misses out on the KO there. So Diancie coming out, knowing this thing's probably just gonna click Crunch. Ooh, Earthquake, that would have been crazy there. I mean, a non-Mega Diancie's gonna take an Earthquake pretty well, though. In comes the Grin. This Diancie clicks Protect and doesn't Mega. Surf. Maybe want to stay unmega'd for now, just for that extra bulk. We see the Crawdon come out as the Ferrothorn switches back in here. It's getting low. It's about half HP, I guess, now. Diancie coming back out. Maybe trying to scare out that Crawdon? Maybe we see a knockoff. Crawdon could be banded, though. It's the Moonblast off, yeah, so likely banded, as it wasn't able to switch up to an Aqua Jet there. We see the Gren come out, threatening Water Shuriken, obviously. We see the Protect. Greninja, clicking Dark Pulse. This thing could be Specs, too. Feeny coming out. Gets the Dark Pulse damage there. Not too big KO. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, yeah, lives. And Tapu Fini just defogs away those rocks. Okay. Another Dark Pulse just knocking that thing out. Finally, Ale Duncan loses a Pokemon here. See the Battle Bond activated for this Greninja. Probably going to switch here. Yep. Do we see U-turn? Yes, we do. Victini coming out here. Lander switching here, gets the Intimidate off. Victini just clicks V, create. Ooh, that gets that thing low. Oh, that's a Papaya Berry. Or Yappa Berry. Probably saying that wrong. Okay. Goes to their own Landorus here on the Stone Edge. We see the Gyarados makes debut here. Gets the Intimidate off on the U-turn. Looking like Mega Gyarados as well. Teeny comes out. Landorus. Potential Bolt Strike. No, clicks Will-O-Wisp. We have a Will-O-Wisping Victini here. Interesting. Diancie has a potential sack. Ooh, as the Gren comes in. Okay. Protect just to see what this thing wants to lock itself into. Dark Pulse yet again. Really not much on Ale Duncan's team wants to take that. Victini's just gonna get sacked here. She can get a free switch likely into Dragonite, I would think. Nope. To the Landorus. This thing's scarfed? Oh, could be scarfed. Could have been scarfed this whole time. Diancie comes out. Gets the Earth Power KO on the Magearna. Here's that Ash Greninja again. Might just see a sack here. Protect, because he might as well. Clicking Dark Pulse yet again. Yep, sacking the Diancie. Ferrothorn. Oh, Chafu must be thinking that thing's not in range. Might have calced it. Brings up the Landorus on his Stealth Rock turn. Stealth Rocks get set up yet again. Lots of defogging in this one. Here's the Dragonite on a Stealth Rock. Okay, good read by A.L. Duncan. Probably not Heavy Duty Boots Dragonite, I think, then. Here's the Dragon Dance. You see Stone Edge. Okay, but he still intimidates from that Gyarados to worry about. You see another one here. Confident he can take a Stone Edge. Does. No crit either. 2's nice because that helps you play around the Intimidates a bit. We see a Roost, so multi-scale back in effect. It's also going to resist the next Stone Edge too. Or neutral, rather, I should say. Okay, I like how AJ Duncan's playing this. Just another Dragon Dance up. Just clicks Defog this turn. Okay, and then, yeah, this is probably game here. Probably going to see the Dragonite start attacking here. And we see another Dragon Dance. Stone Edge. Roost, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, no reason not to play it patiently here. Here's the Roost. Looks like El Duncan has this one in the bag. We see a crit, too, like absolutely nothing on the Roost turn, of course. Going for it again here. We see another Stone Edge connect. And you can just Roost on this last turn, right? Yeah. Dragonite's gonna be outspeeding everything and its mother, so this is looking like it's done. See the Gyarados come out. Mega. We see the Z move from the Dragonite. It is indeed devastating Drake. So you don't have to commit to like a Outrage or something here. And we see, oh, Dragon Claw rather, and we see that just get the KO here on the Greninja. So there you go, Italy up 4-2 at this point, and 1 win away from winning a Retro Cup of Pokemon. Let's see if France can tie it up in the next 2 matches here. All right, next up we have Black and White. Oh, yeah, Black and White OU between Reza from Italy, Exeline from France, and sadly we do not see a Victini in this one. Reza bringing Sand here. Also bringing the Alakazam, which won't be taking any sand damage. And looking pretty good in this matchup, to be completely honest. I mean, if you can get rid of that Victini and that Ferrothorn, of course, those are kind of the 2 things really standing in its way. Likewise with the Latios, of course, being also a hard-hitting Psychic-type Pokemon here, so a little bit of Psychic spam here. The Landorus, a Ferrothorn, and a Rotom Wash making up the defensive core of this team here. So I do like this team a lot from Reza. X-Line bringing Rain, and fully committing to the Rain as well, for the most part. You also have, I mean, I guess the Jirachi could be packing the Thunder in this case. So a little bit of a weather war here. I have a feeling that's probably going to be a fat Toad, but we'll have to wait and see. Keldeo, just such a threatening Pokemon in Rain, of course. You have the Tentacruel as well. I had to think about that there. Which can be useful. We don't see a Spin-Blacker from Reza here. You have Ferrothorn of their own and a Torn T, which could also be packing the Thunder on a team like this. So let's get into it here. Latios lead from Reza. Ferrothorn lead from Exeline. Goes into the Toad, activates the Rain here. It's indeed probably a fat Toad of some sort. Gets tricked, and yeah, this Toad now has a Choice Scarf, which isn't a bad thing. That could come in handy. See the Tar come out as Exeline goes on their Ferrothorn. Superpower connects. That does a lot of damage. Takes some Iron Barbs. And then sets up Stealth Rocks. Okay. Wonder if this thing could be banded. Toad coming out. Sets up the Rain. Takes the superpower very well, as this is probably a defensive Toad to start with. This Rotom Wash comes out here. On a Scald. No burn. Leftovers on the Rotom, so this thing is indeed defensive. Ferrothorn switching in here. On a Will-O-Wisp, that's unfortunate. That could have really been useful on this thing. Volt switches on out of there. Landorus T coming out. Gets the Intimidate off. Power Whip miss. Okay. Those aren't going to be doing too much anyways. The Intimidate. Ferrothorn getting out of there, and comes the Torn T on a Stealth Rock turn. Okay. Surely this thing has the Hidden Power Ice, so Landorus likely wanting to get out of here, which is what happens. There's the Latios with the newly acquired leftovers. We see Nasty Plot from the Thundurus. Okay. Now we notice Latios isn't spec, so Thundurus should be able to live a Draco Meteor quite well. It does. I shouldn't say quite well, it still does 85. And we see the KO with the Hidden Power Ice crit. And that's a leftovers Thundurus too. That's not Life Orb boosted either. Here's the Zam. Just surely sashed. Jirachi coming out for Exeline here. Takes the Psychic very well. No drop. Reza switching into Rotom Wash. Very safe play here. What's this Jirachi going to click? We see a U-turn. Tentacruel coming out for Exeline. Probably looking to spin soon. This thing's packing the Rain Dish ability. I really like Tentacruel in Gen 5, the Rain Dish. See the Toxic miss. As here's the Volt Switch. Does 40%. Decent damage. Tar coming out, setting that sand right back up. So a true weather war here today. Toad coming out. Send that right back up. But again, this Tar is probably choice to some variety. We see the Crunch. Ooh, and the drops. That is a 2-8 KO on the Toad. This Toad is going to be faster, though. Gets the Scald, doesn't get the KO, but does get the burn. So it should be able to live the next Crunch here. Barely. And Toad looking good to win the Weather War here, yeah. Tar's going to drop the rocks here. No hazard removal for Reza. So yeah, it's going to be Rain from here out. Gets a crit Scald that lands on the Ferrothorn. No burn. Still fishing for one, though. Knowing that this Toad's won this Weather War. Oh, but instead Reza just sets up a Spike. Okay. Could be useful. You got lots of grounded Pokemon there on Exeline's side of the field. We see the Zam come back out as the recipient of the Scald. Now, Burn's not going to do anything with Magic Guard, of course. And then just going for the Signal Beam. Okay, interesting coverage here. Maybe that was just in case he's wanted to switch into maybe Jirachi do a little bit more damage. Then Psychic. Here's the Ferrothorn switching as the Jirachi comes out. Clicks U-turn. Ooh, but this Jirachi's going to get nice and chipped next time it comes back in. Which is probably what Reza wants as an opening for that Alakazam. Here's the Keldeo. We're really hoping this is a Scarf Keldeo at this point in the battle. Sacks the Tar. What's this thing going to click? Sub. Ooh, boy. But is Zam going to come in an Encore is another question. We see the Rotom instead. On a super effective Hidden Power, could that be Grass, perhaps? Okay. Keldeo. So Landorus going to come out here. Pump's going to connect, knock that thing out. Okay. Keldeo's looking pretty set here. Comfortable behind a sub. Here's the Zam. Psychic's going to break the sub, and Keldeo goes for the Sacred Sword. Oh, and Zam just hangs on with 2%. Wow. It's going to scare that Keldeo out. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the situation where Scarf would have came in handy, right? Because you don't have to worry about the Zam outspeeding you. Yeah. Jirachi coming out, which might be in range now of a Signal Beam. Goes into Pharaoh instead. Jirachi clicks the U-turn. It's gonna die to anything from that Alakazam now. Here's that Keldeo. Just gotta connect on a Power Whip, really. Seika Sword just gonna knock this thing out. And Zam should be good just clean here. Yeah. Gets the kill. Do we see Italy just win the World Cup of Retro Cup of Pokemon here? Yeah, because, I mean, Jirachi drops the hazards, actually. Yeah, no, this is done. Boom. And Thunderous T just going to drop the rocks. So, Italy getting the Retro Cup of Pokemon victory here in 7. So the 8th game not needed. I do have it though, and of course I'm going to do commentary on it because it's Gen 3 OU and I love me some Gen 3 OU. But yeah, Italy with the victory here. And we do have one more lined up though between Prince from Italy and Blazing Dark from France. Yeah, this one doesn't really matter as much, but it is Gen 3 OU. I love doing Gen 3 OU commentary, so I'm still going to cover this one anyways. I might put it on normal though, just because this one doesn't matter anymore, of course, as this was uploaded after that deciding victory from Italy. But let's go and do it anyway. So Metagross lead from Blazing Dark, Suicune lead from Suicune, sets up a sub right away on an Earthquake. Okay, I do wonder if this is a Houdini. See Surfland and no, I don't. Oh, no, it's leftovers, of course. Okay, there you go. So not a Houdini, maybe like a fake Houdini there. Just keeping this Suicune low for the time being. We see Celebi come out here on the next Surf. Spending a Giga Drain, of course. Salamence switching in, gets the Intimidate off on the Celebi. As this thing just sets up SD, so this is an SD pass Celebi here. Salamence just Dragon Dancing here on the pass into the Swampert. Okay, we see a Hidden Power Flying Connect. With an Ice Beam, but that Salamence actually lives. Because we protect just to get a bit more lefties. Yeah, it's going to drop to the next one here. Next Ice Beam, yep. Swampert's low. It's going to be just out of Torrent after the leftovers, yep. But we see a Raikou. Celebi switching in here on the Hidden Power Grass, confirmed. As that was resisted. Sub from Raikou. SD again from the Celebi, okay. As this Raikou's going to set up a Calm Mind behind its sub. We see sub broken, like with Hit Power Rock. I know that's what Celebi likes to, SD Celebi likes to run his Hit Power Rock. Gets another SD up. Maybe looking to pass here. As the Raikou sets up a sub. Nope. Spamming the Hidden Power. Again, likely Rock. Metagross coming out here on a recover turn, maybe just in case that thing wanted to click a move. Baton passes into the Metagross on a Meteor Mash. Perhaps Blazing Dark is faster. It is, but it misses. And it's going to drop to a Meteor Mash from Prince's Metagross. Here's that Magnezone trapping this thing. As it just blows up on the zone. Okay, so both Pokemon drop here. In comes the Tar on the Snorlax. On the Double Down, I should say. Sand is activated. We see a Rock Slide connect on a Curse from the Snorlax. Rock Slide again. Flinch? Okay, that's pretty clutch. Snorlax probably looking to rest soon here. We see another Rock Slide. No flinch. Oh, and the Earthquake's not quite going to get the KO here. Surely we're going to see a rest here. Provided we don't get flinched. We don't. Oh, we just see the Earthquake KO. Okay, so Swampert coming out here. Very low Snorlax. Let's get off that thing out with an Earthquake. Magneton switching in here. Swampert gonna sub. Oh, and we see some Weather Clear. Okay. That's nice. Celebi coming in on the Hidden Power Grass, I think. Here's the SD yet again. Gets the T-Wave off, but Celebi can just still Baton Pass, heal that. Yeah, and that's exactly what we see. Para's gone into the Ments. Oh yeah, that's the last thing you want to see at this point. Gets the Earthquake KO. We know that's not HP Ice Raikou either, so this is looking pretty good for Blazing Dark. Gonna take a T-Bolt, no para, drops, and then that Magneton's gonna drop too. So Blazing Dart gets the KO, or gets the win for France rather. Little too late though. Makes it a respectable 5-3, but Italy already had the victory sealed up there. But I did want to include that one because that was a pretty sweet match, and again, I love me some ADVOU. So congrats to Italy for winning the Retro Cup of Pokemon. I know this happened months ago, but I'm so glad I was able to get some commentary on this, especially before my life gets a whole lot busier in the next month here. And yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, subscribe, and all that. Really do appreciate the support on the channel, as much as commentary as I'm going to be able to do lately, because again, life's about to get a whole lot busier for me, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of time here to record going forward. But I am glad I got to wrap up this series. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and be sure to stay tuned for more commentary.